Good day to all of you out there. I hope you've had a great Father's Day for those in Australia and New Zealand who are fathers. I did. I cooked a 1.4 kilogram piece of ribeye on hot coals. And I tell you what, the only time it rained yesterday was when I started to cook. And I had to put it right next to the glass, which was my sliders, because I wanted it out of the rain. And of course, the heat from that cracked the glass. Excellent stuff. Anyway, here we are. It's Monday. It's spring here in Australia. And it really feels like it too. You know, I'm sneezing a lot more. I get hay fever. I mean, you know, is what it is. We are lovely, happy in spring, and I hope you are well. Oh, pardon me. It's been a very interesting year. We're going to focus on the markets today. G'day, Winston. Sheldon suggested that he's working from home, coming into summer, crypto bull market, and he doesn't think he'll be wearing any pants until next year. So ladies, if you know him, perhaps good time for a visit. Everybody else that doesn't think it's a good time, don't go around to Sheldon's place. Hey, Jeff, Phil, hello to you all. Don't forget, please, to like, share, subscribe, with this production. And yeah, I would appreciate that. If you want to learn the language and how I trade and what I do, there's no better time. We've got a very strong market, and I'll take you through the reasons as to why in a moment. But TRADERCOBB.com is where you're going to find what you need, and go fill your boots. All right. Phil's telling me to go fishing. I'm being told that quite a lot. And the reason that I'm getting these comments is quite simply because it was Wednesday last week. So I bought a boat relatively recently. And it's within my 5 kilometer limit, because I went out and went around the headland, all fine. Boat performed fantastically. I don't have my sounder and GPS unit just yet, but I got a text about an hour ago saying that it has been shipped, so I should have that in about a week. And my car's struggling, so I'm going to buy a car, hopefully this week, if I can get a good deal. I've decided to go for an Isuzu D-Max or MUX. Anyway, 3.5 ton towing capacity, well priced. Give that a crack. So there you go. When I went out fishing on Wednesday, this is what we saw. This was I think it was this one. It was the first day of spring. That's what happened. We came out of that range. We're going to be talking about this consolidation of this range in this session. And there's many others that have occurred throughout our top 10. And I want to talk to that. Now, I know that a top 10 may have shifted a little bit. I think probably Solana's up there somewhere. But we're going to work from what I've got right now. Am I wearing pants now? A bit of a personal question. Yes, I'm wearing pants. I've even got shoes on today. So yeah, let's have a look at what's going on here, because Bitcoin, I talked to my clients, and I think everybody I talked about last weekend, I can't remember what day, about Bitcoin's consolidation. And I did talk about the fact that Ethereum had a similar consolidation and really popped well. Now, what I was hopeful to see was what we have seen. I've been waiting for this candle. It's not a huge candle, 3.84%, but you have to remember that Bitcoin is the largest market cap in our sector, and the sector is digital assets. And that sector, by the way, I will add this, is being a lot more respected now. It is actually seen as an asset class, not just from us weirdo crypto, whatever we are, but from the wider public now. And I think that's going to put us in a good position for further upside, not come further upside, but for further upside. So the consolidation occurred. We tickled through it. We struggled. I wasn't, this on Friday, I wasn't overly impressed by that. Saturday's candle was a bit, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, come on, Bitcoin. Give us a little bit of, twerk that backside. Show us what you got, baby. And it did. Yesterday was the day. Not only did we, the first close above 50,000 for quite some time, it closed at above 50,000 on that Friday. But you know what I mean? Like, we cleared the resistance, we closed above. I wouldn't necessarily call that a statement candle. That with Ethereum, that was a much bigger candle, right? I wouldn't call that a statement candle either. What we've got on Bitcoin is fairly similar to what we had on Ethereum. But Bitcoin, of course, being this day, Ethereum's already moved. What I'd love to see is a follow through of that momentum, a real exclamation point, shut the gate, the horse has bolted, and we're off. And I'm hopeful that we see something strong today. Ideally above 5% to the upside would be phenomenal, because it would basically ring the bell a little bit to show, let's go, 50K, good night, and off we head. But of course, these are markets, and we just don't know. Jeff's saying Bitcoin price was quoted on the 6 o'clock news. Well, that's it, mate. That's right. We are seeing that legitimacy. There's a lot of stuff out there. It's been a long time. Well, actually, it has been a long time coming, but realistically, if you consider I suppose 2017, and I'm not just saying this because, July 2017 was when I entered the market, but that's when it started to make an impact on me. The right sort of people suggesting, because I knew about Bitcoin in 2013, and I didn't get involved because I was trading, for the most part, foreign exchange and equities and commodities, but portfolio was basically commodities and equities. Foreign exchange and equities and a bit of commodities, because there's not as many commodities as equities, right? And I just didn't see the liquidity. I just went, well, I'm a trader. I'm not a tech entrepreneur, investor type, VC. But now, 2017, we started to see a bit of a shift. And sure, we had a very slow period of time where not much happened, and it was, my word versus yours, and very combative. And now we are seeing general acceptance. I believe that, Bitcoin, especially in cryptocurrency, digital assets, it's mainstream. The bridge has been crossed. We are mainstream. This market is a legitimate market and seen as a legitimate market by many around the world, and many big banks, many business people, all the players that need to be there. And it just seems to be governments, for the most part, large governments that are pushing back a little bit. And we know, it doesn't really suit their needs. Anyway, strong Bitcoin, statement break. It is not massive. If we can plug in and play and get ourselves to say, 55 or something, give us 5% or so. What's 5%? That's going to give us, get us up to 20. Yeah, somewhere just below 55. That'd be a really positive thing. And I think it would kick off potentially a move somewhat like this. And that would be really, really good. So where to from now? Well, I'm just going to read the chart for what the chart is. That's all I do. That's all I can do. And, stick to what I know. When we look at the daily here on Bitcoin, we can quite clearly see that if we're looking at our indicators, we've been going through a divergent period. And that's why I'm really happy to see Bitcoin push on. If we come down now to the 12, however, we can see this as a higher low, and we are convergent on that. We've stepped out, we've come out, and we're starting to move. So that's really, really good. I'm happy with that. Come back to the weekly now, and not last week, but the week before. G'day, Alex. We were down 1%. Not really a big pullback on the weekly, and then we went on again, up 6.2% the week just gone. And of course, we've just started today with our new week. What this tells me, the weekly's had a big move, definitely, and I did take some profit around here. I'm very comfortable with that. I've got some other things that I'm comfortable. How do I put this? I'm looking at some other projects at the moment, and for me to have taken that, the first project, of course, is just buying that bloody boat. No, got the boat, buying the car. So I took a little bit. And when I say a little bit, it wasn't a very large portion of my portfolio. And even though the market's moved higher since then, it wasn't Bitcoin that I sold. I actually bought more Bitcoin. The bottom line is that we've come out of this consolidation. Our weekly still looks strong, but here's the thing. So those of you who know what the cradle strategy is, probably one of the most prolific strategies that appear in the market each trend, because they got to be worked in trend. It's, I talked about this months ago. Obviously, we're in the, September now. The bullish candle in the cradle, breaking the high. Now, from an investor, if I was managing a large portfolio, or like a billion or something like that, then that probably would have been an entry point for me for a long-term position based off of the monthly. Now, the candle's not all that small. However, we've now moved on in July, 13.5. We currently are up nearly 10%. And don't forget, it's the 6th of September. What a cradle trade is about is the pullback and finding that point at which we have a higher low. And then that trend pushing on to create a higher high. And so far, it is playing out really, really nicely in that vein. And if it's to continue as it has done so far, it's only a couple of months. I mean, you probably would have one-to-one if you did take that as a trade. But, I can see Bitcoin with the current trajectory, with the current look at the monthly and the daily. I can see this month closing up pretty strong, potentially. Now, when I say potentially, you got to understand that what I say today is based on what I see today. Things can change. They don't change that rapidly on a daily chart because obviously it takes a bit of time for things to play out, but they can change. At the moment, I'm very confident that we will continue to see further upsides. The monthly backs that up. The weekly, it hasn't really had a proper pullback. But the daily, with that consolidation the way that it was and with it popping through, be very interesting to see how, this time tomorrow looks, or 10 a.m. tomorrow looks, and how we close. But I'm seeing strength. I'm seeing a really good market. I'm seeing a lot of positivity from the charts. Don't care what anyone says. I'm looking at the charts. So where do we go from here? Well, we go to the lower time frames and we see what options we've got available to us. And let's just jump to that 8 right now. So let's look at the 8. Higher low, high, higher low, higher high. Now, it's not real beautiful in here by any stretch of the imagination. I want to see it leg up further and get better cyclicity. It's looking really positive, and that's why I believe, probability-wise, from my perspective, my personal perspective, is that we will see further upside. Now, of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to go and take a leverage trade. I'm waiting for trading opportunities. But it's looking mighty fine right now. There's nothing really on any of these lower time frames as of yet, because here's that messiness and here's that break from that consolidation. But geez, I'd like to see it push on, get some better cyclicity there. I'm going to come back now to the daily, and I'm going to focus on that because Bitcoin was in a sideways range, broke. Okay, Ethereum was in a sideways range, broke really, really well. XRP. Now, it's not been as range, like the consolidation hasn't been as tight on XRP, but there is a higher low and a higher high. And it is looking, in my opinion, on the daily, more bullish than bearish. Bitcoin Cash, same thing. We had a higher low and a higher high. It's really like these couple of days, you're talking 7.5 and 7, nearly 8. We've smashed through the old highs. We've got a higher low. We've got a couple of really strong candles. This is very strong. It's looking strong. DOT didn't really lose its trend. It just smashed up through. And again, it's in an uptrend. Litecoin was consolidating relatively similar to Bitcoin in the sense that there was that consolidation. Now a higher low, higher high, couple of belted days, 16% and nearly 10%. So we've smashed through that consolidation. So far, just keep in mind, Ethereum led the race, smashed through the resistance, uptrend. XRP, it's still hanging around, but the uptrend is there. DOT, really strong move, uptrend on the daily. Litecoin, broken a consolidation and with a higher low, uptrend on the daily. So far, everything for the most part has outperformed Bitcoin coming out of that consolidation and getting into an uptrend. All right, just keep that in mind. Doge has a higher low and a higher high, been relatively quiet. It is in an uptrend on the daily, relatively quiet, not done too much. Binance didn't really lose its trend. It pulled back in, but it hasn't climbed out too much. So Doge and Binance, a little bit, hey, how you doing? Cardano, also the same, but we must not forget that Cardano did have, from its low to its high, a 200% move. And you compare that to Bitcoin from its low to its current high, we're talking a 77% move. So for Cardano to be a bit slow at the moment, it's not really that much of a surprise given the amount of effort it's taken to get around that $3 mark. Don't forget, we're talking about buying at $1. It bounce, it's outperformed everything really. And then finally onto UNIPERP, and you can see UNIPERP's the last one that is clinging on to somewhat of a consolidation. It's not a perfect level. We do have a little higher low and another one here, possibly push through there, and we go bananas. The main point I wanted to make, and I will also look at Solana. Yeah, I can have a look at that. Space Hunter. Is Solana in the top 10? I feel as though that it would be right now. I probably need to refresh my top 10. Again, another one, from that low, we talked Bitcoin 77%. Solana's done a 6x, just about 6x. Belter. Absolute bloody belter. So I think it is, it is in the top 10 now, is saying Roku. Sure. So I'll mix that up. I'll get my 10 back in line. I do it every now and again. I'll do it again now, or not now, but later. But again, a big move. What I'm getting at here is the underlying appetite for the market seems to be improving. And that can be witnessed by going into here. Not that, here. Look. The Bitcoin dominance chart, the consolidation that we saw for quite some time, it was resistance, broke out. This was around the Christmas time run when Bitcoin really sort of dominated. Then it came off, and Bitcoin just went bananas. We consolidated for a long time. Then we saw this massive alt run, just sucking the life out of the dominance of Bitcoin. Then we got a bit funky, little consolidation. We've had some really good trends throughout here. And don't forget, throughout this consolidation, it's the Bitcoin dominance chart that consolidated, but the market throughout that period was doing quite well. Now we've got ourselves in a downtrend on that dominance chart, which opens the door really spectacularly for us as traders, because it means that it's more than likely that we're going to see a lot more markets that are outperforming Bitcoin. Now, that's a good thing, because it means that we've got many more charts to look at to assess for trading opportunities. Everything right now is starting to really shape up to be a very good little period of time for us as traders. It's the perfect time to be aware, to be sticking to your rules, following the checklists, knowing what it is that you're doing, and making a profit-taking plan, guys. There's no point in having a big number on paper if it burns. You've got to look at it further. I'll have a look at QNT. Oh, I thought it had USDT. But I'm what? Shit the bed. 19, 43, 13. What a belter of a move. Yeah, well done. I mean, there's not much to speak of really on that daily. It's just gone bananas. Time frame wise, that 30's got options. It's bouncing quite nicely. Maybe some boosters in and amongst that. Look at that for a little belter. I don't know why I've decided to use belter about 17 times today, but who cares? Really good move. Yeah, I'll have a quick look on the YFI. It didn't make my list this morning. Yes, okay, okie dokie. Yeah, look, it had a couple of, I'm going to say it again, couple of belters. Couple of bloody belters, 22 and 22. There's not much there to speak of, to be honest with you. It's got to calm itself down a little bit. Throughout here, higher low, higher high. Let's jump to that 4. A little bit helter-skelter, a little bit messy, not the right sort of market I'm looking for right now. FTM's gone bananas too. And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to make this a really long talk. And I've, believe it or not, got heaps to do. And I got to get back to the old fam bam. This little puppy's been an absolute gem. It's moved well. It's not doing much right now. I want to see it step out a bit further. I'm not interested in trading that. Okay, what's your thoughts on HBAR? Definitely a lower priority coin, but could be a surprise value in the future. Brandon, it's a fantastic question of which I can't answer. I'm not the I'm not the fundamentals type guy. I've got no idea about the project. From a trading point of view, I do know. Is it this one? Hedera HBAR. Yeah, that's the one. From a trading point of view, the trend's there. I want to see it step out a bit further. I think I made them a watch list last week for the first time. And it was over here. I just didn't get the small enough candle. Of course, you know, with hindsight, I would have made a heap of money, but it wasn't really matched up perfectly. OXY, yeah, that's just not got enough liquidity, man. Like, it just doesn't, eh? Like, you look at the 15, check this out. Beep, bop, beep, bop. No, I'm not going to trade that with margin. You look at it up here on the daily. Of course, it's seen a great move. It's in a great uptrend, but it's not something that I'd use margin for. Just learning the breakout strategy. What do you think of XTZPERP? Let's have a quick look for Sailor Boy. XTZ. What time frame are we talking there, Sailor? Oh, yeah, righto. Couple of bees dicks pushing through there. Let's go higher. Alice, who the is Alice? Sorry, I had to do that. I had to do that. Roku, you just underarm the French cricket style, and I'll just smack him for 6, mate. Coming back to my sailor friend. Yes. Yeah, mate, I like it. Genuinely, what I would like to see is I'd like to see another push up into this region. So another test, so just to consolidate the distance between those and give me a higher low. But I'm going to put that in my list now. Thank you for pointing that out. I think that's really good. Okay, Jesus. All right, I'm going to do 2 more, and the 2 more are already there. I'm going to look at Mina, and I've got no idea what Alice is. I really don't. And Mina USDT, I guess. I don't know. Far out. My GPS sounder unit arrives this week. It's very exciting. Okay, Mina, cha. Bit of cyclicity there. There's no doubt about it. There is cyclicity. It's doing its thing. I'd like to see it tidy up a bit, mate. I'd like to see it tidy up just a little bit more. It's not far off being a belter. It's just a bit of a spike, pulled back, a bit of a coffin of splutter, a little bullish candle in here on the one, maybe look, I'm always honest. I don't think it's got what I need right now. And the other one is Alice. Okay, let's look at that daily. Okay, Alice, doobity scoobity doo. If anything, Alice was along over here, but it wasn't the greatest. It's in an uptrend, but it needs to do a heck of a lot more than what it currently is, dare I say. Okay, that's me, because I got things to do. Welcome to Monday, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I wanted to do this was not to look at all the coins that you bring to my attention. Of course, I have done that anyway. But to talk to you about the realities of where Bitcoin is, looking at those consolidations across some of the larger market caps, and to see that at the moment it appears that somewhat Bitcoin is a little bit of a lagger. So, what does that mean? Oh, I don't bloody well know. All I do know is that we've got some damn good trends out there. Across that top 10, it's telling me one thing. We're looking pretty bloody strong. That tells me a second thing. You need to be focused on your trading, your trends, your risk management, and being around those little windows that I describe about when the candles close. If you don't know what windows are, then you, I suppose, live in a dark, dark home. No, if you don't know what the windows are and you want to learn more, go to TRADERCOBB.com. The free course is still there. Guess what one of my tasks are this week? It's to shorten that thing because, well, we have our reasons as a business. And guess what? If you want to get access to that in its full version right now, before it hits a paywall, then I suggest you do it right about yesterday. Have yourself a Merry, Merry Christmas. Might have kicked that one off a little bit early. Get yourself some Zantac because I tell you what, those Poland devils are making this man sneeze like, you know, a 65-year-old John Cobb who tends to string together 10 or 15 at a time. Don't get me wrong, I love sneezing, but come on, Spring, give me a break. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day. I'm in good spirits and I hope you are too. Mwah! Bye.